Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. We have Jeffrey here with us all the way from San Diego, California. So, Jeffrey, welcome to the show. Obviously, Open Book Entrepreneur. You mentioned, you're the Integrity Game founder. So,
hmm
please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me, Tony. I've been to Germany a couple times. I love it over there. Interesting history, culture, amazing architecture. I feel a connection with you. I really appreciate being on your podcast. About me, I don't take myself too seriously. I'm a soft skills guy. I believe soft skills make strong leaders, soft skills make strong teams, soft skills make strong organizations. So communication is at the core of everything that I do, whether it's coaching, consulting, training, info products, writing books, giving speeches. It's all soft skills. I'm trying to, and then as far as the integrity game is concerned, at a high level, we can get into the details, but I want to make it easy and fun to look within. What we're trying to do is make accountability non-threatening. We have an imagination for what this world would look like if accountability was not threatening. What would we will ourselves into? How much more productive would we be? How much more calculated risk would we take? Right? If accountability wasn't a threat, if it was just an objective function rather than a threat to our egos and our ego defenses. So that's what I'm trying to do in my work.
Exactly, fantastic. So, on top of that, like, what's one piece of advice you can actually share with our audience when it comes to integrity game?
Well, see it as a game, right? Be playful, be curious, understand that you may play 100 times and not win every single time, but right? You're going to learn something when you play. You're going to play with others, right? So the whole gamification, because accountability is usually going to feel like an attack when we're not ready to be 100% responsible for ourselves. So that's why I call it the integrity game, a little bit of a Trojan horse, right? When I'm doing public speaking and raise your hand if you believe you have integrity. Everybody raises their hand. But if I said, raise your hand if you have an objective external accountability source, crickets, right? So the idea is I mean, I don't know how we unpack this, but fight or flight response is when we attack or we run from any perceived physical danger. Well, ego defense is the same thing from an information or emotion perspective. Any information, any emotion comes along that doesn't jive with our sense of self, it's going to provoke a fight or flight response. We're going to attack or run from any new information that doesn't, right? So that's the challenge of personal professional growth. And so for in terms of advice for entrepreneurs, it's kind of like Marshall Goldsmith wrote a great book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. Okay. So entrepreneurs, they have ideas, they have beliefs, they have a track record of success. They have many, if not every reason to believe in themselves. But if that gets in the way of their openness and, open book, right? Wear it on your sleeve, be vulnerable, be honest, look within, then the entrepreneur isn't going to get where they really want to go. Congratulations on where you've gotten, but the new and next level is going to require you to look within and challenge yourself and hold up a mirror. And those are things we don't often do for ourselves. I can't coach myself. I need somebody else to hold up my mirrors.
Totally. That's 100% true. I mean, I'm business and mindset coach and I have a number of coaches actually. And I've been actually doing this for 7 years as I was working as a mindset coach on professional tennis tour. And I've been traveling around the world. They took me to California a number of times with professional tennis players, and I've seen how they have coaches for all these different things. Obviously, there is a coach for tennis, there is a coach for mindset, there is a coach for fitness, for physio, there is a physio there, so there's all these different coaches helping this one person succeed. And I believe that as business people or self-employed or something, we should have coaches for different things, and we should really apply this into our day-to-day habits, because someone will help you with one thing, another person will help you with something else, and that's totally okay. So what do you think about like hiring a coach to help you with your business?
Well, I think it's important. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't invest in coaching.
Hmm.
I invested 3 consecutive boot camp coaches trainings to learn how to coach, but in those trainings, I got coached by 5 people every week, and I coached 5 people every week, and we had to rate each other against a rubric and submit our scores, and then there was head coaches, and right, and I had a coaching session just last week. to process issue process and so just it's critical. Surgeons don't operate on themselves,
Mm.
right?
That's
Okay.
true.
Now, on the one hand, it's important just to have a coach, period. But then we get into, well, a good coach, a coach with a sound methodology, a coach with a
Yeah.
proven track record, a coach that will be honest and will say what needs to be said, a coach that has the skill set to, get into the behavioral intervention piece, right? So in my methodology, the coaching methodology that I developed, it's set up for us as coaches, right? Me, myself, or anybody that I've trained, or anybody that's a licensed, right, or independent contract in my ecosystem. That the idea is like I don't have to do what you've done, what you want to do. I don't have to do what you want to do in order to coach you there, right? What I do need to do is get engagement. I need to get your buy-in. I need to make sure that you let me know who you are and what you want, or I need to get in there and help you figure out who you are and what you want. Then I need to provide motivation, which is a combination of either the strategies that there's proven strategies out there for everything. I don't have to know how to build a rocket to find the strategy to build a rocket. I don't have to
Mm.
have built a rocket to identify the strategy to build a rocket. I don't have to have sold a home to identify strategies for marketing real estate, right? If that makes sense. So there's endless strategies. There's strategies for everything. Perhaps you've heard the book that's popular right now. It's not how, but who,
Mm.
right? So a lot of people suffer from how. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? How do I do that? That's not the problem. It's why are you doing it? You'll find the how. There's plenty of how, right? But the other thing is that if you were the best sailor, if you had the best crew, if you had the best boat, if you had the best map, and you had a blank check, those are all strategies, tactics, and resources. There's nothing stopping you from discovering new land, unless you believe the world is flat. Then you're not going despite all of those resources. So that's the other piece of motivation is check up from the neck up and getting people out of their own way. So Tony, if I've got you engaged because I know who you are and what you want, and I've selected strategies that are matched to your behavioral style and cleared out any fog or stuck or limiting beliefs or addictions or habits or what have you. Now the only thing left to do, if I know who you are, know what you want, given you strategy and gotten you out of your own way, the only thing left to do is is hold you accountable. Do you take action or not? So it's engagement, motivation, and accountability. And within those frames, within those three pillars, and the communication techniques that it takes to bring those conversations to life, right? In our methodology, we're kind of generalist in that regard. Does that make sense? Anything that somebody wants to achieve, we can help them achieve it. What your question was is like, well, back to my son. He had a hitting coach, he had a pitching coach, he had a strength and conditioning coach. He had, three different coaches outside of the field, plus his head coach and assistant coaches on the field. So we see a lot of that specialization, which I think is important. So sometimes you get a sales coach or a marketing coach. In our methodology in the integrity game, we're kind of generalist, and I want to create an ecosystem where I specialize on communication related issues or emotional or relationship or parenting or branding, right? But I could bring in somebody that just focuses on CEOs or somebody that's just focusing on marketing or somebody that's just focused on sales, but within that framework that I laid out. So number one, it's critical to have an external accountability source. Number two, it's critical to be vulnerable. That's critical,
What do you
coach or
mean
no
by that?
coach.
What do you mean by that? Be vulnerable.
Vulnerable. See, vulnerable meaning like, again, how are you going to even getting a coach isn't enough. You have to be honest with the coach. You follow? I know a lot of
Totally,
people that,
totally true. Totally true. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a
I know a lot
great
of people that
concept.
hire,
So
I know a
yeah.
lot of people that hire coaches or go around and say, well, I've got a coach, but they're not coachable.
Mm.
Right? They're not sharing with the coach what's really going on. They're not answering honestly. There's smoke and mirrors, or they're not showing up to the sessions consistently. They're not, doing the assignments that they commit to in between the sessions. They're scheduling, they're or rescheduling, they're canceling, they're putting off, they're kicking down the road. It's tough to be confronted and to get honest about what counts as next level, what counts as. So, when people are playing it safe. I'll give you an example, Tony. Um, let's just say I'm coaching a real estate agent, right? Real estate agent, and I'm just basic numbers. How many, all right, how many deals did you do last year? And they'll say 12. And I'll say, okay, well, what's your goal this year? And they'll say 18. It sounds good, right? Oh, 50% increased from 12 to 18. All right, cool. So then I'll ask, I'll say, well, do you believe you can do 180? They go, no, 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 no. So do you believe you can do 19? Well, yeah. Do you believe you can do 150? No. From 12 to 150? No. Well, do you believe you can do 20? Yeah. 100? No. 21? Maybe. 80? No. 22? Maybe. Right? Ultimately, you see what I'm doing, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So now let's say that we settle on 24, like 24. I don't know. I think I can, but boy, I'd have to get lucky and get good and get referrals. But I think I could do 24. It doesn't mean I'm guaranteed to, but I think I can. Okay. So how much money do you make per deal? Let's say $10,000. Well, 10 minutes ago, their goal was 18. They might have gotten 15. You follow, which is still better than the 12.
Yeah,
But by holding them accountable to what they really believe, now the goal is 24, they make it 18 or 19. So the difference between 15 and 19 is $50,000 on that scenario.
mm,
Does it make sense?
yeah,
But the first answer is the safe answer, 18. And so a lot of coaches out there say, okay, 18, let's get to work on getting you that 18. They'll say, hang on a second, before we get to work, is that really what you believe? What do you really believe? What's the greatest thing you believe you can achieve? And I'll hold that space so that's a safe example, but we're talking about emotions and patterns and habits and addictions and self-sabotage and how honest can we get somebody in a coaching relationship to share those things, right? So it's like you hire a coach, but is the coach skilled? Is the coach empathetic? Does the coach have any clairsentient abilities to understand what's happening vibrationally and psychologically, emotionally, despite what words you choose to throw out there, right?
exactly.
So there's
Read between the lines. Yeah, read between
yes,
the lines.
what isn't being said? Right? And word choice and phrase. And then now that's why my competitive advantage is my master's degree in communication, right? And my years of experience teaching public speaking, helping people get past the fear of public speaking in a general education environment at the university, right? So, an engineering student doesn't want to take public speaking, but there they are in the classroom, have to take it. So
Exactly.
how do I get through to that person? How do I get through to the biology person, the mechanical engineer, the pre-law, the pre-med? They don't want to do public speaking, but they have to in order to get their general education. So how do I break through their fears, break through their I don't want to, break through the right and get them in action? So I've got these competitive advantages that I'm bringing to the coaching table, and that's my ramble answer to your question.
Fantastic, fantastic. So what about in the integrity game, your
Yeah.
book? Where is it available at the moment?
Yeah, Integrity Game is available on Amazon. It came out in 2022, so it's a little over 3 years old, and that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years is building the brand, promoting the brand, getting it out there. I've been coaching, consulting, training, speaking for many years, but just recently I'm packaging it all. This is my contribution. This is my thought leadership in the space of personal professional growth. I want to deepen and broaden our understanding of the word integrity, especially our usage of it, right? And so it's a book, it's a keynote, it's a presentation. If I'm doing a half day or a full day training, the first 30 minutes are breaking out the integrity game model so people see it as a framework, a shared language that an organization can use for high performance teams, etc. So I have all these visions about how it will grow and organizations will look for the integrity game for their training and development framework.
Very nice. And if someone wants to, just before we go, if someone wants to actually get in touch with you, connect to you, or find out a little bit more about you, how they can do that?
Well, they got to call you. They just got to call you, Tony. If they want to get a hold of me, they got to go through Tony first. No, thank you for laughing. That's my sense of humor and my style. I'm easy to find. Jeff Klubeck. Reach out to me on LinkedIn is probably the best and safest and easiest thing. But a simple Google search or find me on social. I still read all of my own messages. I'm very easy to find. People can go to theintegritygame.com, right? And the Integrity Game as a book and the 6 other books I've written, they're all available on Amazon. So Klubeck, Jeff Klubeck, LinkedIn, Integrity Game, any of those searches, you'll find me. And if you're looking for me, please mention that you heard me on Tony's podcast. That'll be important to me to know.
Wonderful. I'll include those links in the description of this episode. Jeffrey, thank you so much for being a guest today. Thank you all for watching and listening. Again, Jeffrey, thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge in this short interview we had time today for. So, yeah, see you all in the next episode. All the best and bye bye.
Thank you, Tony.